Welcome. I'm over here. Over to your right. Hi.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Is this on?
Yes.
Sort of barely. Jesus. 1, 2. Was there a shorter person than me here just a minute ago?
There we go.
Okay, how's that?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What an incredible honor.
Thank you. Yeah, it sure was. And to have Mike there to present it to me was more than just icing on the cake. I mean, he's a very charitable guy himself, and so it was so. And as you know, he's on his way to Chicago tonight to do his concert tomorrow. Then he has a concert in Minneapolis the next day, and he's all over the world. Of course, I was in London, England last night, so to London, Ontario tonight. So.
London to London. It's an incredible honor, as we just said, to be presented with the Humanitarian Award. How did you get started in your charitable work, and what motivated you to create the David Foster Foundation?
I had this moment in my early 30s where I was living in Los Angeles, and there was a young girl from Victoria. And back in those days, when you had a transplant, it was only experimental in Canada. So anybody that needed a transplant had to go to America. So this young 5-year-old was in UCLA in Los Angeles. And my mother called me and she said, "You got to go visit her." Not because I was anybody important or anybody famous, but just because I was from Victoria, she was from Victoria. So I went and visited her, and as I said in the video, when I asked her if I could help her with anything, thinking that she would say, "Oh, I want to go to Disneyland," or "I want to meet Michael Jordan," or whoever was the famous person of the day. And she said, "All I want to do is see my sister. I haven't seen her in 3 months." And this great light bulb went off in my head. It's like, you can't see your sister because of a $100 airline ticket. That doesn't make any sense. And that's how I got started.
It's pretty.
Do they get to ask questions or just?
Yeah, no, of course. Did you not like my question?
Good. You and I are doing good.
Yes. Does anyone have a question? I have 2 runners on either side. Can I have Mike over here, please? Yep.
This is a very impressive room. Are you guys going to all be there tomorrow night too? Yeah, it's going to be a big night.
You're walking right by them. They're right there. Keep your hand up if you have a question, please. Yeah, thanks.
First of all, congratulations on the Humanitarian Award. Can you talk about going on stage, though, and talking about your philanthropic ideas and your philosophies rather than talking about your music and everything you accomplished?
Well, thank you for the question. My first thought when I got up there was, because I didn't know that they were giving out 37 awards tonight. I thought it was a gala like they do in Los Angeles where some people perform and that was it. And my first thought was, shit, I've written a 9-minute speech. And it should have been a 2-minute speech because they're already wanting to move fast. But it was inspiring to me just internally to not talk about my music at all. Maybe peripherally I did, but for it to be nothing to do with music, really. And to realize that I, have made a second commitment in my life that's equal or maybe, as I said, maybe even going to outlive my music. The kid that's going to have no idea who I am, but is still going to be, affected by what my mother actually started, not me.
Cool.
Fanny, I think you have someone over there. Oh, great.
Hi, Randy Owen from Country 107.3 in Tillsonburg, Ontario.
Hey, Randy.
How are you?
Did you say country?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Question. We've got awards named after Jack Richardson and Walt Grealis. Would you be okay if somewhere down the road there's the David Foster Humanitarian of the Year Award at the Junos?
I mean,
would you be okay with that?
It'd be a great honor. It never even crossed my mind until now, and that's probably all I'm going to think about until they do it. But thank you. That'd be nice. And Jack Richardson was I remember Jack Richardson in particular took time and spent time with me. I don't think he was that much older than me, but in my 20s, he took time to sit with me and teach me, a trick or two, and he knew many tricks.
David, can I just get a mic here, front row?
Hi there.
Hey, how's it going? Tashana Reed, CBC News.
Hey, CBC News.
Congratulations, Tashana.
Tashana.
Yeah,
Okay.
got it right. You spoke a bit about some of the Canadian talent and how we're doing on the world stage. I mean, what do you have to say about the artistry coming out of this country?
Think about it. I mean, we make jokes down there, and I live in Los Angeles. They make jokes about something being in the water, but it is very, very disproportionate. If you, I mean, like I said, we're leaders. We're not followers. And you think about the top four out of 10 artists right now are Canadian. That's very disproportionate, and it's absolutely true, right? You can't argue Drake, Weeknd, Bieber, and Shawn Mendes. You can't argue with that. They're top four of the top 10. I mean, they're in the top 10.
What are we doing right?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here, okay? And I realize that I did this once in the year 2000 at a press conference in Cannes, France, and sort of jokingly said I might want to run for prime minister one day. And it was a slow news day for sure, and it got picked up as a real thing. So I would like to run for prime minister in 2020, and no. I think that as Canadians, at least in my own history growing up in Victoria, British Columbia, I think that we had to work twice as hard to be taken half as seriously. And I think that's probably changed a lot now because I'm a lot older than the people that we're talking about now. But I always felt like in my musicianship, I had to learn to play jazz, I had to learn to play R&B, I had to learn to play pop and rock, not all exceedingly well, but I had to learn every genre of music just to get a job in a club somewhere. And maybe that's true in America too, but I just think that, like I said, we had to work twice as hard to be taken half as seriously. Yes, sir.
I have
I'm
two
sorry.
people in line.
Okay,
Sorry.
you go ahead.
My apologies.
I'm a producer.
David, go ahead.
Hi, David Friend, Canadian Press.
Hey.
I talked to Michael recently about the evolving relationship that you guys have had as friends, obviously, as he's been through a tough time. And I'm wondering if you could maybe reflect on, he's here tonight for a really important moment in your life. What has changed and evolved over the past few years from your perspective?
In his life?
For you and as friends.
Oh, well, I think probably everybody knows the story that I found him at a wedding in Montreal. He was literally the wedding singer. So he's not a wedding singer anymore unless he gets paid $1.5 million. Then he'll sing at your wedding. So that's changed for sure. But, obviously I don't want to talk too much about his personal tragedy, but he has come out of the other side of that tragedy triumphantly. But still, he is not completely out of the woods with that yet. And I think it's absolutely changed him as a human being, as you could imagine it would anybody. It's the unthinkable to face having your child be sick, that sick. So I think he's just happy every day. He really is living life on his terms now, and he's such a good father and a good family man. So I always kidded him about, I said, dude, when you have kids, man, your life's going to change. He said, oh, yeah, it's going to be fine. But your life changes when you have kids. I have 5 daughters, so I know. So I've watched him morph into this great father, great husband, and still have this amazing career.
Last question, Ben.
Last?
I mean, we'd love to have you here all night.
Oh, but there's other people coming in, right?
There are other people coming.
Well, fuck them.
Don't overstay your Don't overstay your welcome.
That's going nationwide. Oh, shit. Okay, last question.
David, it's Ben from the Toronto Star.
Hey, Ben. I know you. Where are you?
He's
I'm
over
over
there.
here. I'm just wee.
Hey, Ben. How are you, man?
I'm good. I know when we talked recently, you this is like one of those stupid generic Juno questions, but you were saying you were kind of uninspired in the studio. But I'm curious, given the field of nominees, you must have familiarized yourself with some of the people being honored. Is there anybody here you'd like to work with?
I was struck by that fact of that dance group, the 2 guys that said their song was #1 for a solid year. I think that's fascinating. And the song sounded really good, what I just heard them pumping out, those 20 seconds. I don't know, maybe something like that would be interesting to me, but I am a little uninspired I'm just bored with myself right now. And then that's the honest truth. I'm not uninspired with music. I think the music business is incredible. I think it's in great shape. I think they finally figured out streaming, and I think it's going to be, went from a $40 billion business to an $8 billion business. I think it's going to be a $100 billion business. I think everything is right with the music business. I'm not the guy that's complaining about it. I'm just a little bored with myself right now in the studio, which is why I'm doing Asia's Got Talent and World's Got Talent and television shows and stuff like that, and my foundation. Nice to see you, Ben. All right, we'll let somebody else come in.
Thank you
Thank
very
you all
much.
very much.
Congratulations
Much
again.
appreciated. Thank you.